And with that, I'll say hello everyone. Welcome to the IIRL. Today is the F2 tier. Back at it again. Last week you would have seen Steinos take the win in the sprint, but Rothwell taking the honours in the feature race. Believe we've had a singular driver change since last week, being a debutante in Stormy, who's driving for the Campos team for the rest of this season. Speaking of, you're all in chat. Hello everyone. I'm just waiting for my lag top to load. Just gonna hope and pray that my mic does not have any issues today, because there were a few issues last week. And now my laptop is just refusing to load. That's very, very helpful. I'm not going to be able to see chat for a minute, guys. Oh, there we go. Hello. Yeah, hello everyone. You want Crofty in here? David, that's going to be a little bit difficult. He might be just a tiny bit busy. And Snacks does not comment on F2. So I can't have a friend. We need socks. Was that doubly intended? Because I was going to say, that would technically apply to last season NA. Would it not? Spend the monies. I don't have the monies. We missed socks on Tuesday. You literally commentated. Socks, you was the one on comms. What if there is going to be rain? It is possible at Miami. It's unlikely, but it is possible. Socks and... That is... Brain, you're right. It was Snacks and Steely. You will be back on Tuesday. That is not a question. We like it wet, but not on the track. I mean, to each their own. I'm just going to hope that there is no lag. Please let me know. Hey, Björn, you took it there in the first place, okay? Also, not a lot of people are going to know. Well, too much anyway. Oh, hello. There are a few people we're missing. Wet, dry. I wonder, because in F2, there's no intermediate tyre. It's just either slicks or full wets. So the crossover's actually massive. Full wets or slicks, yeah. It's going to be a bit of a hassle if it does rain, or if it rains and it goes dry, or if it's dry and then it rains. You know, don't go there, Stormy. Please don't jinx it. Yeah, no. Full wet on a damp track. You know, that's the issue that we... Well, the opposite that we had on us on the start of this game. We had dry tyres, but you... Or, yeah, dry tyres on full wet track. Wow! Rothwell! Oh, we're going in. I wasn't paying attention. Low blow. I agree. I think we're missing 3 people at the moment, but they'll probably join in time for either the feature race or the sprint race itself. Good luck, guys. I think there'll be a few minute break for everyone to load setups and the like. So we'll be waiting a few minutes longer, I presume. To give me a little bit of time to eat my food. There is rain in the main race. Oh dear. We jinxed ourselves. Is it raining the entire time? Ah. So what you can do... 93... Oh my days. That is some heavy rain. But yeah, I think in F2 when it's wet you don't need to make a mandatory stop. Which means that Red Dragon won't need to worry about the lap 6 tyre rule again. Batterby Carnage? Yeah, I agree. Good luck on your debut, man. It's certainly a tough one to get into. Do you want to get points in the sprint? Or do you want to get more in the feature? Do you go for a dry or a wet setup? So this is going to be actually quite a big toss-up now. This is proper hell. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Steely. Oh, hello. We has a countdown. Steely, do you want to join me in comms? Either way, it'll have to be after qualifying. Yeah, we're good. We're about to start qualifying, as you can see. So this might get a little bit hectic. Oh dear, hello. I need to get my numbers. Everyone opting for the super softs as per the usual. Steinos, if I remember correctly, is our championship lead coming into this race. We'll go with Björn for the first sector here. Not taking the second curb, because I know in F1 you can take that second curb, the raised one, but here is going to be where your time can be either gained or lost. Steinos and Björn battling for the front 2 places at this moment in time. Some got in P3. Red Dragon's crashed. That's not good. He was, I believe, 5th coming into this race in the championship, having taken pole in the first race. That will leave him P12 unless people invalidate their laps. At the moment, looking good for Björn. John for his first F2 race in a long time. I believe it may be his first ever. Currently running in P3 as well. But Björn looks to be quite a ways ahead. I think Steinos... They're certainly not swapping as much as they did before. Björn's overall split time 108.1. We'll check with Steinos. Can't quite see, but it's not like they're far apart. Sox now running in P3, Rothwell in P4, John in P5 for the moment. But it looks like Björn, unless Steinos can pull out a mega final corner, is going to take the pole here. Steve has joined in time for the sprint race, so that's good. And it's Björn who will take pole by 0.3 of a second. That's a huge gap to the rest of the field. Half snoops and no comms. Yeah, fair enough, Sealy. Thank you to Thomas for the raid. Björn says grazie ragazzi, and it's certainly a good time. Although it's not quite the correct language because you're driving a Spanish car. It's a Dutch 1-2, then Björn leading Steinos, Rothwell in P3, carrying on from where he finished in the feature race last week in P1. John in P4, Sox P5. Sungod in P6, Stormy on his debut in P7, who will start reverse grid 4th, David in P8, Sebastian P9, Deflator taking reverse grid pole, Alex taking P11, unfortunately just outside the margin, a Dragon who crashed early on, and nobody to invalidate to gain him any positions. I believe Steve will also be taking a car for this race. Never mind, he's not in the race director. That's not good. Disclaimer, Rothwell is not Chinese. Yes, that is correct. Rothwell is British. Unless he wants to be pedantic, in which case he's English. Is this wheel only lead? No, we actually have a mixture of wheel and pad, I think. Oh lord, hold on. There are a lot of wheel players, but there are pad players. I believe... Oh my god, who is pad? This isn't making a good point for myself. Yeah, Sun God is pad. Yes, no, yes. Red Dragon is also on pad. Deflated was on pad until the end of last season, and now he is on a wheel. Hey Reds, how you doing? 41 start time, so we've got a singular minute. Less than now. Yeah. What assists? This... Well, we have 2 assist tiers, including the F2. But there is also a no assist tier on Tuesdays. It's the league schedule. No assist is on Tuesdays, F2 today on Thursday, and assist tier on Sundays. Who's going to win both races? I don't know how to start a poll. So I can't really help with that. Who's going to win both races? Probably no one, if I'm being honest. Hey, Goldilocks. That's gone very well. Nice English. Hello, Goldilocks. If I had to take a bet, Steinos has had some really good form. Put your teeth in. Thank you. I'm younger than 20, not 70. I don't shout, I'm just... Yep. The race... Oh, there we go. Give me a second, please. Apologies. Yeah, sorry for that one, boys. That was not intended. So everybody's starting on the mediums for the moment. I did not remember that there was a function for that. But yeah, I did give those days. That does need to be changed actually, because we no longer run assist tier 1. There is only one assist tier for F1, and then we have the F2 tier today. Oh, that's not going to go well. Björn has a dry setup. The bot needs to be moved off. Have fun. Mal, bro. Why would you do this? Yes. Malbro's message is correct. What on... What the hell happened there? I was reading chat, I wasn't paying attention. Can somebody please clip that? Because I'd love to know what happened. You can change setup between sprint and feature race. Yes, I believe that's correct. I believe we had that confirmed by Padge, who is not racing today. Sebastian coming flying into the grid. And he's overshot it a little bit. That's not gone very well. As we look to the lights, can't see them very well. So we'll go on board with David. Lights out for the sprint race. In the F2. Oh, that's a bit of a slide from David there as we go on board. Deflated, leaving enough room for Sebastian to send it on the inside there. We'll go back to the off-board shot. Lots of people sliding their way through. Björn's got past John in the background. There's a spinner there. That is Sun God in the VAR. So David has held P3. That what on earth? That is very interesting. So there are 3 cars that have fallen down the field. I believe that could get removed for Sun God. We'll wait and see whether anybody has damage. But Deflated does lead this race. Spin God, yeah, Steely, you're not wrong. But that is David looking at the back of Sebastian. Sebastian, one of our one of the people who's fighting for the race lead on Sunday in the assist, excuse me, as Dave goes very deep. And that'll cost both of these drivers a whole bunch of time to Deflated. They're almost going side by side. They are going side by side in the background. Sox and Steinos into the chicane. Steinos has to back up, but they've both got past Stormy. But there's now... Oh, that was Stormy hitting the wall. But they have allowed Deflated to get away. You're going to have to remember that there are, going to be a mixture of setups on this grid. As Steinos sending it on the inside, Sebastian taps on back of Sox. And Steinos gets past the pair of them. But there are going to be a mixture of setups on this grid because of the rain for the main race. Deflated Wii has held the lead. David is not slow in an F2 car by any means. Rothwell comes in and retires, unfortunately. I hope he'll stay for the main race, as he should. You've got to remember, on this game, there is a weird issue where for some reason DRS is not active until the start of lap 3. So we won't see the DRS open for Steinos. We're only going to see the slipstream in effect. What's an opening lap from Steinos? I agree, P8 up to P3 by the end of that, I believe that was. Benefiting from the spins from Rothwell and Sun God. There's an Invicta getting out of shape. I believe that was Sebastian, so he's going to be under pressure from Björn. Going into the hairpin, that was a corn cut if I've ever seen one. The driver's going to have to be careful, especially this man. He won't want a repeat of what happened on Tuesday. And I am going to bring that up, because it is funny. Hit the same wall in qualifying and the sprint race. Steinos changing his mind constantly on whether to go for the move on David or not. Traction out of the hairpin is hard at the best of times, so these drivers have got to be careful. There's a spinner on the exit of the hairpin. That is John. The man known for not making that many mistakes has gone round. That's very interesting. Oh dear, that is not ideal. I'm going to get that man back into the race. That's so weird. I'm so used to having him as a friend on this account, on well, my normal account, I don't have them on here. Steinos has got past David. Apologies for that little gap. But with the DRS now enabled, Steinos has set the fastest first sector. He'll look to get... He's got the DRS now. He's closed the DRS early. Deflator's taken the inside. He's gone a little bit deep. Steinos tries to switch back, can't quite get there. Sox has got into P3, past David as well. Is that... Oh my god, that's a move in the chicane. You never see that occur, and yet Björn's done it. This man is on a mission. Sox will have to be very careful that he doesn't get... or he doesn't get passed by Björn, but that looks an inevitability, as you see in the background. Oh, Steinos almost looking for a move there. Björn gets past Sox clean. Here Steinos is just biding his time. John has now retaken control. 39.7 for Björn. Steinos goes to the outside. As Sebastian retires in the pit lane, gets a beautiful switchback. And Steinos is into the lead. Deflator will look to hold it around the outside. Sebastian has left. He'll need to come back for the main race. Steinos holds the inside. That was a brilliant fight through the first few corners. Deflator... Ooh, Steinos going rather wide there, but bringing it back around nicely. You've also got to be careful of that outside wall, because it can shear off your front right tyre. Deflator does still have the DRS, and he'll want to remain there. Probably for now, in terms of you can get the DRS for the next straight. Sox re-overtakes Björn. Deflator looks to the inside. And gets the move done. There's David off in the background, going very deep into that hairpin. That will cost him a bunch of time, and possibly the DRS as well. Drivers also have to be careful of warnings. These cars are much lighter and much smaller than the F1 cars, so a lot easier to get warnings. However, I believe they may have the same grid, or not grid box, same hitbox. So Steinos... Deflator moves to cover him off, and Steinos looks to the outside. An easy pass with the DRS. Oh! A pole sitter spins round, and that's going to drop him out of the fight for the lead. That'll drop him out of the top 5. That's really unfortunate for Deflator there. So now it will be Björn wanting to catch Steinos here. Or as he gets very slidey through turn 2 there. Gap currently 1.7. Well, Deflator can look at it this way. At least he hasn't hit the same ball he hit on Tuesday. As is that damage for It is. When did Björn get damage? We'll probably see it in the chat after the race, but Björn does have no front left end plate, so that will make catching Steinos all the more difficult. Well, 10 drivers left in this race. John being the last of them, having disconnected early on. Sungod gets passed by Red Dragon, and Sungod will probably look to get that 10-second removed. I didn't quite see what happened, but it said it was for a severe collision, so I believe it will be. John gets past Alex as well into what looks like the hairpin. David turning to the inside, just having a bit of a look. Not quite putting more on the pressure, but Björn goes very deep there. They want less mistakes than that to catch Steinos. To move himself back up into the top 5 after that spin. And you've got to remember, Björn said it himself, he's got a dry setup. As he goes off again, that front wing damage looking to really affect him. Gap's now 3 seconds to Steinos. I think Sox will even want to get Björn here, but Björn's damage will be worsening every lap they turn, especially with the tyre wear. That's going to be really unhelpful for him. Sock's almost pushing Björn through the long left-hander there. I always forget what corner number that turn is. But Sock's with the DRS will want to move past and quick. So Sock will look to the outside. Björn can't fight it at all. And Sox takes second place. But it'll be a tough challenge to catch our sprint race winner from a week ago. Already closing a few tenths there. But Björn, with most likely lower wings and the DRS, is going to be inevitable that he gets back past Sox here. What they can do is attempt a DRS swap up to Steinos, as that was a very deep moment from Björn there. Björn doesn't cover the inside, Sox can't quite get there. That DRS zone not quite powerful enough. So Sox unable to shape for the move, goes rather wide. You sort of want to be taking that tighter. But Stormy getting back past Flaters. The Flaters spun again. He has, I believe. He's dropped so many places that a spin is possibly the only explanation. Sun God also going very wide. But does Sun God also has damage. That's something to look at. Red Dragon has no front right end plate. Sun God having no front left. And I also wonder what kind of damage Rothwell had when they all came together in those opening few laps. There's a yellow at the back for Alex. I think he's just spun through the S's. It's not difficult to do. It's something that is... Honestly, if you hit a curb wrong, you're done, as Stormy picks up our first track limits penalty of the weekend. And we'll wait and see whether Sox can shape for the move on Björn. He's looking to the inside. Björn breaks very late. Goes pretty wide on exit, but is able to keep it round as he comes into the pit lane now. Possibly going to try for the fastest lap. It's not going to set him up well for the feature race though. Because he's going to have one less fresh set of tyres. Bear in mind the pit stops are a lot longer in F2 as well. So you're going to lose out even more time. I think with his spin he won't drop behind Alex, but he will drop out the points to John. He's used another set of the mediums. I find that very interesting. I think the mediums are the ideal race tyre, because the other option is the super softs. So I think that is the wrong choice from Björn there. I do think the damage was holding him up too much, but I think that will be a bit of a problem for him for the feature races. David now moves up into second place. These two will want to try and DRS swap up to Shinos, but it's not going to work if they keep fighting like this. David just about holding off the switchback from Sox there. Sox going too wide and having to back off. Stormy now gets passed by Red Dragon, who's on a bit of a recovery drive from P12 on the grid, and with the wing damage as well. We'll keep an eye on the progress of Björn as well on this next lap, because this will be his out lap. Sox not quite able to shape for the move. But both of these two losing quite a bit of time to Steinos, even with the DRS deflated, gets past Sun God. That was a big lock up there. Sun God getting passed on the switchback. As Stormy goes into the pit lane. Not quite sure why. You don't need to pit in the sprint race. That does promote Sungod up into P5. I believe he'll stay within the points as Stormy goes onto the super softs as Deflated is spun again. This man is not having a good time. He is not having a good time. He'll wait and have to regroup himself for the feature race. As Sox gets back past David on the DRS. He does go very deep. He may have to consider giving up that position. He was fully ahead going into that first hairpin corner of that section, so I think he might get away with it. There's Sungod now getting a 3 second as well. Alex has spun again. I think it's too late for a safety car now, so I can't think of one of them as Sox almost pushing David through that corner. Excuse me. These two fighting is going to cost them so much time. David does back out. I keep wanting to say Deflated. That's not who that is. He's in an Alpine liveried car, and Deflated's in the Alpine for the assist here. That's the wrong driver. Speaking of him, he'll be under attack from John soon. I believe that's Björn coming towards the line now. He'll improve on his... He doesn't improve. He was nearly 5 tenths up on his fastest lap. Off from earlier on, I believe on lap 3. Stormy will look to go for his fastest lap attempt as well. This man, at the moment, he's on to win his second feature race in as many races. Bear in mind he's starting from the front row for the feature race as well. It's going to be like that, the news article feature that we had back in F1 2012. Can anybody stop Steinos? Back then it was, can anybody stop Vettel? But same in principle. He's still got to bring it home to the end though. No mistakes and he should have this under control. As I think these two will be fighting hammer and tong to the end. There are only 2 laps to go now. Something I want to keep an eye on is John to Deflated. Because if John can keep reeling in Deflated as Björn's at 39.0, Stormy has done a 40.7. Bear in mind he's on the super softs and Björn's on the mediums. As John now is within the DRS of Deflated. This will be a good fight as well as David has got back past Sox. We'll be closing down through the entirety of this back straight. You won't quite go for the move, but remember, Deflated needs to be careful. They've both gone very deep there. Bear in mind also, John is probably learning the track from Deflated, because he is NA, and I don't know how much practice he's done either. But Deflated already moving to break the slipstream. Remember, there's no ERS in these cars. There's DRS, yes, but the ERS is not there, so you have to use the slipstream and the momentum for these cars, as John does get past Deflated, who's sending it back on the inside. They just about leave space for one another. Then John gets the traction and the move done. But we are on the final lap. His deflate's gone down the inside again! John gets the switchback though. This is a brilliant fight that we're having. Is deflated, almost losing the car. That's going to cancel that battle. This is the man of the moment so far. He hasn't put a foot wrong yet. Even, to be honest, in this championship. On his return 1 week ago. He DNF'd in Imola in qualifying, which did put him on reverse grid pole, I believe, to the best of my memory. He absolutely dominated the sprint. He went from P10 to P2 in the feature race. He's qualified P2 for the feature race, so he's got a brilliant start to this weekend. But he's gone from P9 to P1. Steinos wins the sprint. It's his second sprint win in 2 races. Sox and David fishailing it out the final corner, but Sox is just about going to get to the line first. It's almost a dead heat. 14 milliseconds in it to decide for P2 in the sprint race. Red Dragon will take what he thought was an unlikely P4 from P12 on the grid, and with that wing damage, Sun God will take P5. 10 seconds possibly looks to be removed. Hello. John taking P5 for now, and Deflated will take P6. Björn in P7. Sun God with the penalty will drop him down to P8. Stormy will not gain enough with the super soft tyres. That pit stop proving to be the wrong strategy call. He had to try something different. He had a 3-second penalty, but Alex will finish in a few corners time. He will be P10. Few spins here and there. He'll hope to correct that for the main race. It is going to be wet though, so it is, quite frankly, anything goes. Should get 10 seconds removed, fingers crossed. Yeah, Sun God, that makes sense, because I saw it pop up for severe collision. Orange front wing Björn had. The fact that you were even able to keep close with Steinos then is a testament to your pace, to be fair. Stormy saying he had to change tyres. 50% wear on lap 6. Wow. Something I did forget to consider. It doesn't matter what tyres you use here, because the feature race is raining. So this order could completely change. One of the more dominant sprint races we've had so far. The only 2 drivers in the 39s of Steinos and Björn taking the extra pit stop for the fastest lap. Both Campos cars not able to complete the race without making another stop. But Björn with that front wing damage as well, so he didn't really have too much of a choice. I'm just doing the maths quickly. Sun God will take P5 from John when he gets his 10 seconds removed by just under a 1/10 of a second. Jesus, that was close. I absolutely love that. Yeah, David, that was a good fight between you and Sox there for P2. Well, now we've got the feature race. We'll wait and see how that goes. I do want to know what on earth happened. Yeah, I want to know what happened at turn 1. Red Dragon's saying that it's going to be dry by the end. So there's a lightning icon on the way. That... Huh! So the weather is saying full wet, thunder, thunder, full wet, inter, and then dry, dry. That is very, very interesting. Yeah, I imagine if red flag was on the thunderstorm, would be red flag. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, hello, American man has left the American race. That's not very good. I need to add the American man back. He still has not accepted my friend request. Sad. Get back in here. People asking around about what wings people are going to have. I imagine it will be somewhere high. Björn says he's on 3317. Well, he's spinning. There's not a chance that... Okay, that... I don't know when the ready up time is. I'll have a look in a second. Their red flags are on reduced. Yes, that's a good point. Get Michael Massey, get it postponed until it's dry. That would not be ideal, I would say. What on earth? I'd be last by 30 seconds in the wet. You never know. Radio time is 11. And here we go. Me trying to eat my food at the same time. Ignore me. So Björn will lead us away. Everyone, of course, on the full wets. Oh my days. That was a big snap from Björn there. Stephen ART, I think he's Van Amersfoort normally, so I think he will, or if he gets any points, then he will be put into the VAR on the system. These drivers are just sliding around everywhere. It's a very fast-paced formation lap. I don't quite know how the wets work in F2. Don't really know. Oh, hello. People have touched people. That's not very good. Sebastian deflated coming together on the formation lap somehow. Ooh, and sliding his way through. Hopefully there's not too much chaos. Wow. This man is Miami drifting. I thought it was Tokyo drift, not Miami drift. And then here's the section where it'll just grip for no reason. That's going to be brilliant, isn't it? That's going to cause some mega chaos. Excuse me. So there's a pretty big field spread at the moment. Hopefully we'll be able to back the pack up for just a little bit. Oh my days, this man is barely able to get the traction down. So well, I'll tell you what, we'll go on board with Björn, shall we? We'll be able to look at all this chaos from behind. Rothwell, the man who won the last feature race. We'll see what happens from here. David going too far in his grid slot. The last car's getting to the line now. And we look to the 5 red lights. Lights out, and the Miami feature race is underway for F2 in the pouring rain conditions. Steinos looks to have got a better start of the 2 Dutchmen on the front row. Björn, oh my days, he's sliding through there. Has to leave space for Rothwell, but does manage to hold P2. Steinos taking P1 away from pole sitter. Rothwell maintaining P3 stocks and P4. Steve having a good start, going from P13 to currently fighting with the Red Dragon for P10. John having a really poor start and dropping all the way down from P4 to P13. Actually, that would make sense because he's not back in the lobby yet. That is not ideal. Sebastian and Sun God have had an incident, and they're now at the back. John getting past Sebastian there for last place. Sebastian does not have damage. What is the state? Oh, hello. Sun God, you can't do that, big guy. Anyway, that's not ideal. How do I get involved in the assist league? Are you on Xbox, Itoms? Apologies if I'm not able to respond at the moment because there is a bit of racing going on. All of these guys are going to be very, very cautious on this first lap. Björn getting some amazing traction at the final corner and able to overtake Steinos. I'm on PC, so through Steam. Do you have access to any Xbox account at all? If not, then if there is a way you could potentially provide us with your Discord. Yeah, of course. Okay. On your Xbox account, message the username IIRL Padge. Spelled Padge. Your controller's bugged? Right, okay. That makes sense, Sun God. But these front two have really dropped Rothwell now, again. Please excuse that, my party died. But yeah, Itoms, if you could go on to Xbox and message. Actually, I'll put his username in the chat. Look for that on Xbox. Message him saying you're interested in joining the league. And then he'll get you sorted from there. And as we've been talking, Björn has pulled a rather large gap on Steinos behind. Obviously, no DRS in these conditions either. MP looking probably some of the most consistent driver pairing at the moment. Although Campos aren't exactly going to complain. One car in P1 and the other car in P7. Björn setting the fastest lap of this race. 52.9. Stormy getting past, or fighting David in the background. We'll go watch them. Stormy currently holding the inside. David switches to the inside. Can't quite get there. It's the Trident of Red Dragon in front.
No, on Xbox I know it's that username.
For Padge. I think on Discord that's his username. But we've seen it a couple times that Björn is very, very quick in the wet conditions. As Deflated and Socks going side by side. I want to see the entirety of that move back, because that must have been some incredible awareness from both of them. Socks taking the slipstream from Deflated, both of them almost sliding their way through the little kink in the straight almost, and Deflated taking the inside again now. Socks goes rather deep, Deflated cuts across his nose, but is able to get the move done clean.
Wasn't 100%? Yeah, that makes sense.
Rothwell's gap to Steinos staying around about where it was. Deflated will want to be careful he didn't get damage from that. My word, that was close. If anything, that gap between Rothwell and Steinos has started to come back down a bit.
Okay, sent a message. Yeah, that's good. I don't think he's around at the moment. He'll let you know when he sees it.
Björn setting another fast lap of 52.5. This man is running away with it. But you know, Padge will let you know when he's seen the message, and you can go from there. That is David and Stormy fighting through turns 2 and 3. They've got to be careful they don't spin. Every driver has to do that, to be fair. Rothwell, not quite sure what happened there. It looked like he lost quite a lot of time. Something I'm rather interested to see is whether drivers can take these tyres all the way to the dry period. As Sebastian has not given up and he's got back past Steve. John in the point again. I think this top three is going to be very, very close. Steve now getting back past Sebastian. We'll go and look at their fight for a little bit, shall we? It's going side by side through the hairpin. That's not gone very well. Sebastian takes the inside. Steve does have wing damage. Sebastian's sliding his way through the first part of the chicane. There's Stormy, I believe, has made a mistake, because that gap between him and Alex has come down quite substantially. As Sox is still on the back of Deflated. He hasn't run away. But Red Dragon is going to be catching them as well. Steve, I believe, looked to the outside there on the mini-map. He's got the traction and looks to have got the move so far. John getting past Alex as well. Alex losing a lot of time through there. I'm not quite certain what's going on. He's got to regroup and refine some of that pace that he had to try and catch Stormy. We'll go back up to the fight for P4. All of these drivers now within a second of each other. Bear in mind, remember, Red Dragon was our pole sitter from last week. He established himself as one of the front runners in F2. He retired from qualifying today.
Sock's looking to have some very low wings. However, we'll wait and see what's going to happen. Because Red Dragon, we know, has some very, very good pace. But it's not pushing him as far up the grid as I'm sure he would like. And Steve now gets past Alex as well. Socks with seemingly a rocket ship under him. He's going to look to the outside on Deflated. There's... Oh my god, there was a little bit of a wiggle there. That could have been absolutely catastrophic. Deflated looking to the inside. These two former teammates from No Assist last season. Ooh, they're sliding their way through. But gap at the front, it's not stabilised, but it's not ballooned, as that is Alex has spun. Does he have any damage? Because if he's kept it out the wall, he'll be rather glad, I imagine. Yes, he has. He does not have any wing damage, so I'm going unfortunately far back. But Björn's still pushing on. Rothwell taking it a little bit easy. Deflated gets back past Socks. These drivers all in within half a second of each other. As Socks looking to make it round the outside for this hairpin. We see Deflated appear in our picture. Socks is understeered off. He's got to be careful that he doesn't fall under attack from Red Dragon in the Trident behind. Deflated will have got a track limits warning there. There's Red Dragon. Dropping back a little. I bet this sent fun to drive. Yeah, this will be a very, very big challenge for the drivers here. The fact that we've only had one spinner in the entirety of this race that we've caught on camera is a testament, quite frankly, to how skilled these guys are. But all Socks sliding there. John has got past Stormy as well. What in the... What happened there? Socks has ghosted through Deflated to gain the position. Don't quite know what happened there. Looked like Deflated got a bit of a twitch on. I don't know whether it was caused by contact or not. But Socks going very wide through the first part of that chicane. Deflated looking around the outside. And Red Dragon's looking to possibly take the pair of them. But they stay in the order that they were at the start of this lap. That was an incredible move by Deflated. As Socks will want to get the MP man sooner rather than later. And he looks to the inside. Deflated squeezes him. Socks braking on the wetter part of the track. Deflated holding it round the outside. Is going to turn to the inside line. And Socks has to be very careful of Red Dragon, because he is there. You can't really go side by side through the chicane. Red Dragon has to back out. So really good awareness from these guys though. John has... As nice girthy Steve who has gone round. John gaining the place on him, and I think he's dropped back from Stormy actually. He was ahead of him earlier. Björn setting another fastest lap. This man is a machine. As the gap between these three drivers is spread out a little bit again, Socks wiggling his way through this final set of corners. You have to be so careful you don't touch that curb, nor the wetter part of the track, otherwise you will lose just an absolute massive traction. Dragon looking to get the better exit of the two. He was keeping it tight to the wall, which will gain him some time. It won't get him alongside though. Sox just about has the overspeed on the Trident behind. Red Dragon's going to look up to set the switch back. And takes a brilliant move into the long left-hander. Just about able to cover off the better exit from Sox. But Sox with those lower wings, it's going to be impossible to defend from, with F2 being all about momentum as they've touched through that section, which is sketchy enough as it is in these conditions. Ooh, that was brave. Sox going very, very deep there. And all of this fighting is going to cost them an absolute bag of time to Deflated and back them up into David. So they've both got to be really careful. The pace is picking up. The track does look like it's drying. I think this would be the stage in F1 where we get to put on the intermediate tyres. 51.1 from Björn. I think people will be starting to set personal bests now. And I'd say that Sox with the lower wings could possibly be in quite a good position for the end of this race. 53.8 half second off in his previous best. Bear in mind, he was fighting with Red Dragon in that lap as he's gone rather deep there. Red Dragon will look to set up the switchback move. He's taken the outside. They've touched again. Sox sending it on the inside. They've not made contact somehow. That's a brilliant move on the outside for Red Dragon to take P5. He'll go chasing after Deflated now. Stormy fighting with the Gnosis champion as he's disconnected. Come back here, American man. You need to finish your home race. That is Sox and Red Dragon going side by side again. Oh, that was close. Red Dragon just about able to hold it from Sox. In the Constructors, it's looking to be a good day for MP. Campos will be able to match their current tally in this race. Red Dragon looking to break the slipstream. Bjorn setting a 50.9. As David moves to cool down his wets. Sox can't quite shape to the inside. John has rejoined and will take control of his car again. Sox looking to the wetter part of the track again. And now we'll get to see what their pace is truly like. Because I doubt these two will be fighting an insane amount in the first part of this lap at least. And then I believe the gap will probably be too big for Sox to do too much about it with those lower wings. Deflated also closing in on Rothwell. Alex decided to pull the trigger. Now the big question is, will we see another set of wets? Because I doubt we'll see dries. Yeah, it's a new set of wets for Alex. I don't quite see why you would risk that at this stage, because it's looking to get drier and drier as we go through this race. Sox has now lost a second to Red Dragon, who is in turn closing down on Deflated Wii. Watch as this man sets another fastest lap. Watch it. 50.9 it was before. He's 2 tenths down. My prediction was not correct. We'll try and catch what kind of lap times people are looking at the moment. Rothwell comes to the line of 52.1. That's a personal best. Deflated sitting a 51.9. Red Dragon setting a 52.1. Couldn't quite see what Sox and David did, but David, well, they'll be resuming their fight from the sprint race. But this is no longer for a podium. John has disconnected again. I don't quite know what's going on there. Why couldn't this happen on Tuesday? Why could this not happen on Tuesday? I would have been rather happy if this happened on Tuesday. Man, I was fighting for the race win. Obviously, I do mean this in good jest. I don't want people to take this out of context. John's yes. Yes. John has borrowed Steely's internet from the Amazon rainforest. As we are currently looking at the closest battle on track, they're not really closing down on either of the cars in front. Deflated has also dropped a little bit more time to Rothwell. As Steve picks up our first track limits warning of, penalty rather, of this race. I'd imagine that would be at the chicane. So we'll see what's going on here. The Dragon isn't exactly pulling away from the 2.52.0 for Sox. There's Stormy. Steve isn't the only one to pick up a penalty. Stormy in P8. That's going to help MP in the fight for the constructors versus Campos in this race. Or in this round, rather. We'll see what happens with 5 laps to go. What's going to happen with the weather, first of all, because it doesn't look like it's going to let up. I'd say probably around now is when the radar said it was going to dry up. And if it does dry up, who will we see gamble? Because the pit stops in F2 are very, very long. So we may end up... I think we'll probably have people taking these tyres to the end, if I'm being honest. I can't see that the rain is going to let off anytime soon, and even if it does, it's not going to be worth it for pit stoppers. We've seen Björn make his way into the pit lane. We've seen Steiner stay out. Rothwell, keeping it within the white lines on the exit there, stays out as well. Deflated pulls in. Red Dragon will stay out. Sox and David stay out too. And we'll see where the Campos man comes out. I think he'll probably be ahead of this train here, headed by Red Dragon, but he will be on the title line and the fresh wet. Sungal picking up a 3-second penalty. But Björn, even with a pit stop, has now come out in P3. This could be a repeat of Imola assist here all over again. But Björn will have to catch Rothwell by 3 seconds a lap, or around about there. And Steinos by 18.5 divided by 4. So that would be 4.5 seconds a lap. So I personally don't think there are enough corners for that to work. I can understand English. Hello. I can understand if they get a puncture, for example, but I just don't think the deficit is gonna be enough. Sebastian making his way past Stormy as well. Unfortunately for, well, Small and Corgi, who said they were going to race initially, unfortunately not able to make the race today. Tyres must be dying. Yeah, but I also can't see many people making their way in from this point onwards, which means we could also see Steinos doing the double. Björn, he's... Oh, I don't know whether I should keep looking at the interval or whether I should change it to gap to leader. And Steve now getting past Stormy. That's for position. They'll both lose out to Deflated Wing in the end. And Stormy gets back past Steve. Never mind, they're fighting in the middle of turn 1. Steve getting back past Stormy with that wing damage, which, I'm not going to lie to you, I did completely forget about. So that's very impressive from the VAR man, not ART. So we'll keep an eye on Björn. See what's going to happen with him, as Steinos has started to slow down. Rothwell has brought that gap down from 10 seconds to what is currently 7.725. With 2 laps to go or so. If Rothwell wants to win this race, he'll need 3.5 seconds a lap. And if Björn wants to win this race, he'll need around about 5 seconds a lap. Rothwell's brought that gap down from 10 seconds to 6.1. Tyres must be really going off. 48.8 for Björn. That is massively fast. I'm going to look... Well, where do I see last lap without looking at the race director? That's very not helpful. However, Rothwell has already closed in half a second on Steinos on this lap alone. We'll wait and see what's going to happen with 2 laps to go from here. I think Steinos has picked up the pace again. Björn a 10th up on himself again. Sungor getting past John. Did John disconnect again? I think this is close. Yeah, I agree. But Björn's going to have his work cut out for him. It's one thing to catch, it's an entire another thing to pass. But with the rain still coming down, he'll have to be so aggressive to get a move done. But I think Björn has probably thrown this race win away. We'll go to Steinos to see what kind of lap time he's doing. But I think he's just taking it easy. Or either that or the tyres are done. It certainly didn't look in a good way coming out of that corner. He's done 53.8. Rothwell does 51.8. Didn't see what Björn did, but it wasn't faster than his 48.8. But I don't think it would have been that far off. I think if Steinos keeps this pace up, he's going to be at risk of losing the race win to Rothwell. He's got to be so careful now. Oh, dear God. That's not good. Can I invite him back? Oh, shit. Sorry. I apologise. That's not good. That's many not good things. Oh dear. Please, I beg of you, edit that out. But Rothwell, I don't think there's enough left. Unless Shinos gets a puncture or spins or something. I think this is wrapped up. It's come very, very, very tense towards the end of this race. Björn, with those fresher tyres, was charging towards them. But in the end, all he had to do was just take it easy. He's got to have no wheel spin now. He plants the power and just about he's able to bring it over the line. Shinos does the double. He'll be really happy with that, and he's extended his championship lead as well. Rothwell takes an incredible P2 from what was 10 seconds back about 3 laps ago. Björn, even with the disconnect, finishes on the podium. Red Dragon will take P4. Sox in P5, David in P6. These guys are going 3 wide into the final corner. What on earth? Deflated wee, that is. Ooh! That was not good. Deflated takes P7. Sebastian will take P8. Stormy in P9. Steve in P10, rounding off our points. Sun got unfortunate with the controller issue at the start. Yeah, I'm not quite certain what happened there. Steve will lose out to Stormy. Sunga will come across the line for P11. John. I thought I got this man back in. I swear I sent him an invite. Did I not send him an invite? That'll be clipped. Yeah, that's not a surprise. And Alex, rounding off our grid. That was an incredible race. But the AIX man does take the victory. Both the sprint and the feature. I don't actually know. I know that has been done before. That happened in the final race the last time we did F2 because it was Ross that did that. Thank you guys. Thank you Rids for watching the stream. We'll go to the results now, shall we? But yeah, Steinos having an almost perfect weekend. Doesn't get the pole and neither fastest lap. Both of those go to Björn. But yeah, Steinos does do the double there. Rothwell taking P2 from P3 on the grid. Björn taking P3. The pit stop ultimately costing him in the end. Red Dragon takes P4. Another one from P12 on the grid for both races. Sox remains in P5. David in P6. Deflate in P7. Sebastian P8. That incident at the end with Steve will be looked at, I'm sure. Stormy in P9. Points on debut. Steve in P10. Sun got P11. John P12. And Alex in P13, no DNFs in the feature race, and with that I'm going to thank you for watching. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable stream. There is only one man the driver of the day can go to, if I'm being honest, and that can only be Steinos. I'm being completely honest. He's had a completely dominant weekend here. AIX winning Joseph Hales is having a fun time. Yes, I'm sure he is. Baptism of fire, but no spins. Yeah, you've had a really good weekend here today, mate. Like, yeah, you should be proud with that. But yeah, I'm going to thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next week. If not, then I'll be here on Sunday for the assist tier race for